Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, on this episode of Bullet Points, we're going to talk about something that happens all too often when the lefties get control of things like gun rights. Things like any government program. There's always an unintended consequence to their idealistic moves. Now, what we're going to talk about is something that happened in Washington State. It's linked in the description box below, but it's important that we really talk about what happens when bureaucrats, particularly left-leaning bureaucrats, attack gun rights and hit one priority point on their checklist, but they negate every other unintended consequence. It's crucial because in this case, they outlawed and did exact opposite of what they intended to in Washington with the police. Let's dive in. It's linked in the description box below, and I want to know what you guys think on this one because this really puts in a beautiful little package what happens when politicians get involved. Check this out. Washington's police reform law bans military-style equipment, mistakenly including less lethal force. So the whole point here was to make police less lethal in their interactions with the public. They made them more lethal, but listen to how they did it, because this, man, if this is not government bureaucracy at its finest, I don't know what is. I want to hear from you on this one, guys, because this is what we're warning against day in and day out, and why these people are not going to write our gun control laws or gun right laws. Gun laws, how about that? Check it out. In the rush to pass police reforms following the killing of George Floyd, one state inadvertently may have made it more likely that lethal force is used in some circumstances. For thousands of police officers in Washington state, taser guns are now the only less lethal weapon available to them. They removed every other less lethal option, therefore making it more likely for lethal options to be used. I'm not for any kind of lethality, but the point is, the politicians here made it worse. What they're trying to fix, they made it worse, which is a theme across the board with politicians, specifically big government politicians. The Democrat-run legislature passed 14 police reform laws in the last session, including one that bans the use of military equipment, defined in part as firearms and ammunition of .50 caliber or greater. So their idea was, the .50 caliber Barrett, we can't have this. This is terrible. That shouldn't be used. Listen to what happened, because they don't use those to begin with, by the way. After it was signed by Democratic Governor Jay Inslee, several law enforcement agencies raised a red flag saying the law actually bans the shotguns that fire beanbag and foam-tipped rounds. Those less lethal tools are sometimes used in hostage situations, during riots, and occasionally to subdue a mentally ill suspect who poses a threat. So in trying to protect and reduce lethality, they increased it because they took away tools that were less lethal. This is the police. If we don't have that tool, at some point a human has to step in and do that, said Fortney, which makes it much, much more dangerous for both the SWAT officers who will be involved and the person we may be trying to take into custody. They created a bigger problem by trying to fix a problem because they can't do it. You can't legislate morality. Anyway, Democratic leaders who pushed the police reforms now admit they made a mistake and vow to fix it in the 2022 legislative session. Well, that's convenient, 2022. But if you made a mistake, why would I trust you to correct that mistake and not make another dumb one? Well, here's what they say, and this gives me no confidence. We went line by line, section by section over this tactics bill and nobody caught it, said Democratic State Representative Roger Goodman. The police didn't bring it up. We just missed this one. So the answer from the people who were trying to protect more lives from aggressive policing and lethality created more lethal interactions between police and civilians, and their big answer is, well, the police didn't bring it up. I guess we just missed this one. Well, we'll fix it next time. If this story does not put in a beautiful summation what leftist leadership looks like and leftist political ideals look like, I don't know what is. We're going to take these rights because you can't be trusted with them, and we can be trusted because we're going to write amazing laws, and it'll be great, and it'll be a utopia. The laws you wrote make it worse. Yeah, well, we did it wrong, but no, we got it on the next one. Don't worry about it. We got this. And that's what I've got for you on this bullet points. This is a perfect example of why we take our Second Amendment into our own hands and we will guard it. Politicians, sit this one out. We got this. And until tonight at 9 p.m. segment, I'm Braden. See you later.